The Trade Union Federation Cosatu will this month hold a special national congress. This comes after the High Court in Johannesburg ordered the federation to do so, as requested by 8 affiliates, including the expelled NUMSA. We asked Cosatu President Sdumo Dlamini about the state of the organization today, ahead of this Congress, and as the federation celebrates 30 years of existence this coming December.
In the past 3 years, since 2012, Cosatu has been going through a very tumultuous period of disunity within the organization, divisions, to a great extent what was developing to be an ideological contradiction within Cosatu, from within. That becomes a problem. I can tell you now that it is clear that there would have been a time when some among us resolved that for them the alliance was no more relevant and they needed to break away from the alliance. They resolved that they needed to form workers' parties so that they challenge the ANC-led alliance and contest elections. This was a minority view, but it made the loudest of the noise, supported by the media and other academics in some of our universities around the country here, as if it was a big thing happening in the federation, almost splitting the federation. When we took the decision to expel one of our affiliates, NUMSA, it would be as a result of NUMSA having violated Cosatu's constitution, in particular expanding or extending their scope to cannibalize on members of other unions in Cosatu. And that resulted to them being expelled. But that's a macrocosm of a bigger picture. You would appreciate that for many, many years, NUMSA would have been coming differently within Cosatu, within the alliance, propagating for a different route. This has always been defeated. This time around, when it got a mileage through involving some of the national leaders of Cosatu into that mode of thinking, it gave confidence to that. But it still did not win, because ultimately the CEC had to expel that union, and so that we preserve Cosatu as we have found it, with its key founding principles of Cosatu, of one union, one industry, paid up membership, international solidarity, worker control, democratic centralism, which are very critical pillars of the federation, which have kept it glued together for many, many years. We were not going to allow for that to happen. Yes, 30 years now, these are the challenges that emerged within the federation.
Many pundits have predicted that Cosatu will struggle to find its feet again after this period, some even suggesting that perhaps this is the end of it. But Dlamini believes the federation is in a much stronger position today than it was a year ago.
Cosatu has survived this period now. I say that with great confidence. We have survived it. We have had, in the recent period, 9 Cosatu unions looking at a different direction from where Cosatu was going. Today, only concretely 4 of those unions are still sitting outside.
There's been a call for Cosatu to break away from the alliance with the ruling ANC and the SACP. Those who are calling for this move say the federation has been weakened by the influence from within the alliance, and worker issues are not being adequately raised.
We have had those assertions and those accusations. It is usually those people who do not like the alliance. Let me start there. People who feel that this political alliance is not in their favor as far as their political interest. Those who want to remove the ANC understand that the strength of the ANC is through the workers of this country under Cosatu. And if you want to dislodge the ANC, you must dislodge Cosatu. And if you want to dislodge Cosatu, you must attack the bigger unions of Cosatu, which is what has happened with, firstly, the National Union of the Mine Workers. So that criticism fails to appreciate the fact that even when we had to have our breakthrough, the democratic breakthrough, it was this alliance. We went into 1994. In 1995, 1996, many laws affecting workers in this country, which we say are progressive, were due to this alliance. And we're still defending those laws, which we're saying are progressive. But beyond that, within this alliance, we have been able to structure and come up with a number of policies. I can talk affirmative action, I can talk employment equity, I can talk the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, which are laws that favor, in particular, the previously disadvantaged African black workers.
Dlamini says there will always be contradictions within the alliance, but Cosatu will never drop the worker issues to nurse its relationship with the alliance partners.
There are contradictions. We agree on a number of issues, but there are many issues we also do not agree on. What is critical is how do we deal with those matters where we disagree. For instance, talk about the NDP. In its current form, Cosatu is not happy with the macroeconomic chapter of the NDP. Cosatu is not happy with the labor market chapter of the NDP. And we have set up processes to talk to resolve those contradictions that still emerge. And saying on those where we agree, we should go ahead and implement, because as the Federation Cosatu, we have embraced the notion of a national planning commission in this country so that we can have a national development plan for South Africa, which we have never had before in the apartheid era.
Cosatu's faced tough questions. Some unions are asking, why is the Federation losing so many debates within the alliance, including the e-tolls, labor brokers, and wage subsidy?
What people must appreciate is that at the moment where we were supposed to be engaging on these issues with government, with the ANC, there came a moment in Cosatu where these current challenges began to emerge. That directly weakened Cosatu's impact on the work that we are doing. Yes, we lost the debate on the youth employment in as far as government forcing the youth wage subsidy, which we are still opposed to. They went ahead to implement an act on the e-tolls. They went ahead to implement on the labor brokers a 3 months period other than a total ban. So they regulated at a time when Cosatu was weak. It's not because we were comfortable and failing to articulate in boardrooms on the issues. We're fighting. I can tell you one meeting in the NEC of the ANC where really I lost it and told the comrades that, look, you are exploiting the current challenges Cosatu is facing, and we are pushing down the throats of the workers these laws that we have now enacted. We don't like it. We will contest it, which is what we still are doing even right now.
Dlamini has asserted that there are many outside forces that are working tirelessly to destabilize not only the alliance but the ANC-governed South Africa.
That is now very open for everybody to see. When it emerged just about 4 years ago, people thought we were just dreaming. When it appeared in 2013 openly, people again thought we were playing games. But those who were responsible for the agenda cried the loudest cry and made the loudest noise saying no, we are wrong. Today, we now know that people in Washington, where some of the trade unionists today are capable of visiting that place very frequently. They come back here with lots of money. People in Belgium are responsible for some of the activities in this country, not just in the trade union Cosatu. You go and look into what happened at the mining platinum belt. That is a clear-cut example of how multinational corporations have paid a particular interest in South Africa's economy, in South Africa's politics, and being worried that a labor that is too strong, as Cosatu has been in South Africa, must be weakened for them to then be able to access the markets in South Africa. That's one. Politically, South Africa as a country is occupying a particular space in the globe. And other people are not happy about that. They've some openly expressed their displeasure about the growing strength of South Africa in the region, in Africa, and have taken active steps to weaken South Africa. And people believing that, therefore, if the ANC is stronger, it becomes a player in the world that it was becoming. You've got to weaken it. And how do you weaken the ANC? Break the alliance. Get people, get organizations, get NGOs that must come up and be an attack to this alliance to weaken it, because capitalism would not want a strong ANC with a strong lingerance to the left. They don't want that.
You've been watching Signature Africa, and that's all we have for you on this episode. For me, Cindy Somyeza, and the team, Salani kahle.